Hey everybody, it's me Stacey here at Scrapbooking Made Simple, and it is time for Saturday with Stacey, YouTube number 205. And this is a YouTube where my trip to Germany is certainly paying off because I have brand new product from DoCrafts and I saw it while I was in Germany. So I got my order in and we are the first to have it in the United States, and we're going to be the first to have it for several months. Now, some of you may already own some of their previous releases of this product, but I hope to show you a different way to use it. I can't wait. We also have Nuvo product from Tonic. I've brought back their glitter accents. Yeah, glitter accents. And I'm hoping to show you what else you can do with those glitter accents because we love them. I love them. They dry like that. They're perfect. But I wanted to do a little something more with them. So hopefully I'll be able to show you that too. I'm going to tell you, we're going to start pretty basic. I won't take too long on the basics, but I know so many of you watch every single week, and oh my gosh, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. God bless your pea-picking hearts. But there are people who start watching brand new, never scrapped, never card made, never did anything crafty before. So I don't want to just assume they already know. I will be quick about it, and I'm going to start very easily and gradually get a little more difficult. But I am going to start with paper and the different types of paper just quickly in this YouTube, just so if you're a first-time watcher and you have no idea, well, I want to give you an idea. I don't want you to just think that, well, but she went so fast, or I didn't understand, or I've never seen. So hopefully if you're new, this will encourage you and inspire you and help you realize that you can make beautiful things just with paper and a few simple tools. You can do this and people will love what you make. Now we have winner chicken dinner to talk about. That was from YouTube number 204. And that was my Simply Defined release, and that was the release with sentiment, but it was also the release where I introduced my new foam sheets, my 8x11 foam sheets that are 3mm and 2mm thick, really super awesome product. And I used it with foils and my Simply Defined embossing folder. So that's what these people are going to win. They're going to win some dimensional foam. They're going to win a roll of foil from Couture Creations. That's from Couture Creations, and they're going to win the Simply Defined with sentiment embossing folder. So if you didn't watch that YouTube, go back to YouTube number 204 and you can see what they're going to win because the effect was amazing. Okay, are you ready to hear if it's you? Okay, our first winner is Elizabeth Dindle. Elizabeth Dindle, congratulations to you. You are a winner chicken dinner. Woo, ka-choo. Yay. But you are not alone. We always award 2 winner chicken dinners. The next winner is Ivy. Oh, that was easy peasy, Ivy. Natividad? Natividad? I want to say nativity, but it's not. It's Natividad. Ivy Natividad, congratulations, you're a winner chicken dinner. Yay for you. You and Elizabeth are going to get a lovely assortment of that product. You're going to get the foam, you're going to get the foil, you're going to get the embossing folder, and you'll be able to play all by yourself or with many friends, whomever you craft with. Now, how do you claim your prize? It's so easy peasy. You go to scrapbookingmadesimple.com, you look for the link that says winner chicken dinner, you click it. Oh, my finger's blue. There's a reason my finger's blue, but we'll get there, sorry. You go to scrapbookingmadesimple.com, you find the winner chicken dinner link, you click it, you read the directions, you follow them, and you send us an email to the right email address. You have 30 days to get that email to us, and we will send your prizes out just as soon as possible. Congratulations, Elizabeth Dindle and Ivy Natividad. I'm going with Natividad. If I've got it wrong, Ivy, I'm so sorry. But you're a winner chicken dinner, so you will forgive me. I hope. All right, I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to get started. We're going to tilt down for today. And like I said, I'm not going to spend too much time on the basics, but I am going to go through them just so anybody who's new doesn't feel left out, because we want everybody to feel successful when they're creating and crafting. All right, down we go. Bye, guys. Okay, and let's zoom in. Is that right? Yeah. Zoom in just a little bit and maybe turn the camera that way just a little bit. Oh, I think that's pretty good. Okay, so downstairs we're doing a make and take right now. And this is the make and take we're doing. Isn't that super cute? We are featuring new product from DoCrafts. We have their new cut and emboss folders. So we did it in the blue and we did it in the red. So if you are anywhere in sunny Southern California, come and visit us because today, Saturday, you are able to do this make and take with me. I'm sitting out front and I'm hosting it and we play together. Now, I don't know if you can see, but I've got the glitter from Nuvo on there. I have a clear bling that I colored with a Copic marker. This clear bling, I've got the glitter on this too. This bling that's red was clear and I colored that with a red Sharpie marker to make that card. So let's get started. Paper, let's talk paper super quick. First off, cardstock. This is a general white piece of cardstock. Comes in many different weights, 80 pound, 60 pound, 100 pound, but it is just white cardstock. And it's a basic that most of you either already have in your stash or you really want to get some white cardstock because you use it a lot. When you tear it, it's just white. Now the weights will vary based off of what you're trying to do. Sometimes you want a thicker paper, sometimes you need a little thinner paper, but you always want to have a nice selection of plain white cardstock. Then we have solid core cardstock. That's where all those colors come in, solid core. When you walk into a craft store or a hobby store or Michael's or Joann's or wherever you go and you see all of those beautiful rainbow colors of paper, chances are it's solid core cardstock. Now what does that mean? That means if I tear it, it's the same color all the way through. Solid core cardstock is the same color all the way through. Then we have something called a single-sided sheet of printed paper. So what they've done is they've taken a white sheet of paper and they have printed this design on the front. White sheet of paper on the back and they have printed this design on the front. What does that mean to you? That means when I tear it, it's going to tear to white. Now that's really important to know because it is not solid core cardstock where the color's the same all the way through. It is white core cardstock. And what does that mean? That means we're going to be able to sand this cardstock. So any sheet of pattern paper, single-sided, if you tear it, it's going to tear to white because the pattern is printed on the top of the white paper. Then we have a double-sided paper. Now this is very much similar to your single-sided paper. They've taken a piece of white paper and they've printed this design on this side and then they printed this design on that side. So what does this mean to you? This means, well, let me grab this one because I cut into this one. That means that when you tear this, you're also going to see white. Even though it's printed on both sides, the core paper, the paper they started with before they started printing, was white. And again, that's important because that means you can sand this paper. So if you've got double-sided paper, it's printed on both sides, it will tear to white, which means it's sandable paper. Then we have a completely different type of paper. We have something called color core paper. And this is a piece of color core paper. It almost looks very much like your solid core paper where it tears all to the same. Difference is when I tear this, it tears to a different color. That doesn't look anything like this. This is same all the way through. This is a completely different color. Color core cardstock is meant to do that. The reason they put that separate color in the middle is so that you can tear it and have a beautiful edge if you want to have a beautiful edge on something. Or that you can emboss it and sand it. And that color is going to come up and come through. Then we have what they call black magic. Now it's black on the front, it's a color on the back, and when you tear the paper, and just know that when you tear paper, if you want to put that beautiful edge on the side because you're going to mat a picture here, you always tear towards you. You always tear towards you. So now I've got that beautiful color coming through. Or if I embossed it and sanded, it would also have that color coming through. This is black magic. Now if you were to take this paper and tear it this way, see how you don't get anything? Nothing. Gives you nothing. Whenever you tear paper to give that edged effect, you tear towards you. Really pretty. So we have got black magic paper. We have got color core paper. We have got two-sided white core paper. We have got single-sided white core paper. Let me just snip that off. Single white core paper. We have got solid core paper. And we have got basic white. Lots of different papers on the market, and it's important when you're doing something, you use the right paper so that you get the right effect. I'm going to be using cut and emboss folders today. I can certainly use a solid core paper, but I will not be able to sand it, because if I sand it, it'll just keep sanding and sanding and sanding. Nothing will change, and eventually I'll sand through the paper. But I wanted to give you an idea of all the different types of paper that you can find out there. And it's just a matter of knowing what it is you want to do with it. Are you going to want to tear it or sand it? Well, then you want something that's got some sort of a color, whether it be white or a color in the center. If you're just matting and you're die cutting and you want to use a solid core paper, perfectly fine. Or if you just want an embossing, but you don't want to sand it at all, these were sanded to get that highlight look. If you don't want that look, then a solid core paper is fine. But you have lots of choices out there, and chances are you already have some of this in your stash. You just didn't know that you could run it through your embossing folder and sand it and have that relief come up. So I'm going to be playing with the new cut and emboss folders today by DoCrafts. There are 5 new folders. I've got them all here. I've got samples for every one of them. And they are truly wonderful. They're getting to be more and more advanced with them the more they do them. And right now, DoCrafts is the only one that I know that has a true cut and emboss folder. Others have cut and emboss dies, but not a folder. So this is your typical embossing folder, only embedded into the embossing folder are little blades. Now they're not going to hurt you. So these are great for kids. They're not going to cut you. But you put your paper in there and send it through, and what happens? Magic. All right, so I'm going to get started. And I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to send through quickly a piece of solid core cardstock, just so you can see what happens when you use solid core. So I've got my stars, and I'm going to be using the stars mostly today because I think it is a perfect embossing folder. It is not too feminine, but not too masculine. It is great for kids, for their birthdays, for superstar, for great job at school. It's also good for dads. It's good for promotion. It's good for, there's so many things that this embossing folder is good for. It's just a staple because again, it's not feminine, but it's not masculine. So if somebody's turning 16, this is a great 16th birthday card for a girl or a boy. Turning 21, these are turning 50. Let's not talk about that. But I'm going to put my paper right into my embossing folder. I'm going to close it up, and this is a cut and emboss. So it's going to do something a little bit, looky, I got a star right there. It's going to do something a little bit different than your typical embossing folders. I didn't cut very straight, but that's okay. So I've got my Sizzix Big Shot machine here, and I have got my multi-purpose platform. That's what we're going to be working with today. This is the original size, so this doesn't come with your machine. The extended comes with your machine. If you only have the extended, that's fine. You're going to do the exact same thing. You're not going to change it up one bit. If you like to have the original standard size, we do carry them. They're $29.99. They do not come with the machine and is an additional purchase. Why do I like them? Because 90% of what I use, my dies, my product, everybody else's product fits on the smaller platform, and it's just more convenient. But if budget is an issue, I would rather see you get, the embossing folders than a smaller platform, because the platform you have right now is going to work just fine. Now on the platform, I'm going to open up to tab 1, and it is going to show you embossing folders. Any translucent embossing folder that you own, and translucent means it's not totally clear, but I can see through it, that's going to go on your tab 1. So Doris, Elizabeth Crafts, Simply Defined embossing folders, Sizzix embossing folders, DoCrafts embossing folders. They're all going to go through on your tab 1. I'm going to put down, it doesn't matter what plates I use because the embossing folder doesn't cut into it. So I've got a do not cut plate down, my embossing folder, and a cut plate over the top. And now I'm going to run it on through. Now normally you would just run it through once, but because this is cutting as well, I'm going to go ahead and do my rotate, just to be on the safe side. Never hurts. Send it on back. All my little stars are going to pop on out. My big star stayed right there. So I've got all of these little stars to play with, but here's my embossing. Now, like I said, this is a solid core cardstock. That means that I'm not going to be able to take a sand it gadget and sand. It's not going to have any effect. I could sand and sand and sand, but because the paper is the same color all the way through, it's going to stay the same all the way through. So if you want that type of a look, if you just want it to be embossed and you don't want any differential in the color, then a solid core cardstock is good. But if you want to send it through your machine and be able to sand it so that relief comes up and it doesn't, chances are you're using the wrong cardstock. And all you have to do is take a little piece of it and tear it. Just grab a little piece of scrap and tear it. If it's colored all the way through, you're not going to be able to sand it to get that feature that you want. So then I'm going to grab a piece of single-sided white core. And again, I know I should be using a trimmer, but I'm just freehanding just to get it close. And this time I'm going to put it in there. Take out my little stars, which you can also use. I wouldn't throw them away. They're darling. Put it in there. It's a little big, but that's okay. You can see face up because it's got the name. You want to put your pretty side, because now we're using something patterned. You want to use your pretty side facing you with the name facing you. Bring back over my machine. Same thing, didn't change a thing. I'm on tab 1 of my multi-purpose platform. I've got my do not cut plate down. I moved my paper. I've got my cut plate on top. Doesn't really matter because the embossing folder doesn't cut into anything, so it doesn't hurt any of the plates. Roll it through. Flip it. Send it back. Open it up. Pop all my little stars out. And now if I wanted to, I certainly could leave it like this. But this is white on the back. So that means I can sand it. And where that embossing folder has embossed that image up, the sandpaper is going to hit that. And it's going to take off a little bit of the red to expose the white underneath, which is going to make it pop so much more. So I'm going to hold this up side by side. So you can see the difference. Not sanded, sanded. Which do you like better? You have options, because you used a paper that has a different color in the center of it. This one happens to be white. Okay, pretty cool, right? Now I've got a glitter cleanup cloth that we use all the time here, and we sell a glitter cleanup cloth, and this is about 1/8 of the size. It's huge, and I cut it down, and that just picks up all of the lint and the sanding, the paper that comes off, picks it right up. So, pretty cool. That is how we got that. All right, moving along. Now I'm going to do quickly a color core. So I'm going to bring my embossing folder right back over. Bring my machine right back over. And send it on through. I'm going to do a flip, just a 1/4 turn, because we're not just embossing, we're die cutting too. And I'm going to send it back. Pop all my little stars out. I'm gonna have enough stars by the end of this YouTube to make a shaker card. Okay. I'm gonna grab my sanded gadget. So now I've got just a beautiful piece of embossed paper. Looks great, easy peasy. But remember, this is color core, so it's not going to sand to white. It's going to sand to the color that's been sandwiched in the middle. Oh, got one more. Okay, I don't know, can you see all of that? That's the paper that's come off. There's the difference. Not sanded, sanded. But it's completely different than this because this is white versus a second color. This is color core paper and it's made by Coordinations. But you see all of this there? I'm just gonna take my glitter cleanup cloth and I'm just gonna pick it all up. Easy peasy, stays right there, doesn't move, done. Yay. So we've done just a solid core cardstock where the color's all the way through. We've done a white core cardstock. We've done a color core cardstock. And that leaves a black magic cardstock. So let's see what that looks like. And again, I'm gonna have enough stars to do a shaker card. I think I'm gonna give it to Elena, all the stars, and challenge her to do a shaker card. All right, so I'm gonna put my black side facing up, facing me. I've got the name of the embossing folder facing me. That's how I know I'm looking at it right. I'm gonna bring my machine right back over. I'm still on tab 1. I've got a do not cut plate down. I've got my embossing folder in and I'm gonna send it on through. Now the mat that I'm working on is a Simply Refined craft mat. It's my craft mat and it allows you not to slip and slide. The craft mat itself doesn't move. It's so nice. It's non-stick, non-slip, it's heat resistant. I would say it would cook for you, but it doesn't. It does a lot, but it doesn't do dishes, it doesn't do laundry, and it doesn't cook. Okay, I've got my little stars out. Poke them on out. And now let's give it a sand. And that color's coming right through. Which is really cool because when you use a piece of double-sided paper to use this, that means you've got all of these little pieces left, all of these little stars that you could take and pop right back in. You could use little pop dots to pop them up. You could pop a few of them up, but because they match identical, it's a nice little feature. I would take little pop dots and pop them up so it's got some dimension, but it's a nice little feature if you don't want them to all be open because you've used a piece that has 8 double-sided. So this piece here would also do the same. It would allow you to use the back piece to fill in some of the little front pieces. Really cute, really easy. But I want to do more with it. I want to do more than what we're doing. And I want to show you something that if you already have cut and emboss folders, that you're going to be able to do as well. Now, I think I'm gonna, maybe I'll stick with the stars. And I don't know, let's grab another piece of paper. I guess green is okay. Green stars are okay, right? Sure they are. Why not? This is a piece of my color core paper. So if I tear it, there's going to be a different shade of green in there. First thing I'm going to do with this, because I want to elevate this card a little bit more. I want to do something a little unexpected. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to work with just the card base. And this is a Simply Defined card base. It's 200-pound paper, 200-pound weight paper. So a lot of people will pick it up and think that there's two of them, and no, it really is just one. I'm going to take my card, I'm going to fold it, I'm going to look at it. See, this is me looking at it, and I'm going to say, yes, that's how I want, this is the side I want to see. This would be the right way to open it. I'm going to take my embossing folder, and I'm going to put it right over the top. Right over the top. I'm going to bring my machine back over, and leaving my card base open, I'm going to lay it right down, and I'm not changing anything. I'm not changing my sandwich. I'm not changing my platform. I'm keeping everything exactly the same. I'm going to send it on through. 1, and I'm going to rotate it 180 degrees. Because now I'm asking that little blade in there, that little edge, to cut through 200-pound cardstock. Easy peasy. So now I've cut into my card base. But you're saying, but Stacey, I don't want a white card. I want a different colored card. Okay, we're not done. I'm then going to take my green paper, and I'm going to line my green paper up. And I'm going to send that through too. Now this one we're just going to rotate when we get to the end. We don't have to go backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards. We're just going to do one rotate and send it on back. And what do we have? We open it up. And pop out all of our little stars. And now we're going to give it a quick sand. You're like, but you already showed us this. I know, just hang with me. I'm going to clean up my little mess from sanding. I'm going to bring my white cardstock back over. And I'm going to line up. I'm going to line it up. Let's get some Stacey tape. On the top, I would recommend you use a little bit more than I'm using. I just want to get it down for you so you can see. Peel off the liner. What is Stacey tape? Stacey tape is a double stick tape. It's a double-sided adhesive. It comes in, I think we sell it in 9 or 10 different widths, everything from 1/8 of an inch all the way up to 6 inches. It is heat resistant. It's uber strong. You can do beads and glitter and paper and metal and acetate and fabric with my tape. And it just holds. It's just a really good hold. I need to have it looking at me so I can line it up. I need to see it. Okay, just line. Is that it? Line it on up. And now I've put a hole into my card. Had you ever thought to do that? Put the hole into the card? Because then I'm left with this piece here, because remember, this came out of there, right? Okay, let's just give it a little bit of a sanding, just to give it a little distress. See, because I have a non-slip, non-skid mat, you can do this and your mat's not gonna go with you. It's gonna stay put, which is actually the name of my adhesive glue, Stay Put. All right, I'm gonna take a little bit of my foam that I introduced last week, and I'm just gonna cut me a nice little piece. I'm gonna put it on the back. My foam is, this is the 2 mil, so you can see how thick it is. The 3 mil is even thicker. It's in sheets, so you can cut it to what you want. You can die cut with it. It's just I love it. I'm very, very happy with it. It holds its dimension. If you did not see last week's YouTube, oh my gosh, go back and look, because the embossing folder with the foil is just beautiful. Now I'm gonna close my card up. I'm gonna peel the other liner off to expose my sticky. I'm gonna lay my card down and I'm gonna line up my star. Now I'm not opening it and trying to line it up. I'm keeping it closed and lining up my star. And now it's in the middle. And now you can write happy birthday or you're a star or whatever makes your heart happy. But you've already got something in the center of your card. People they're like, what to do? What to do? What do I put in there? Well, hello. Is that so cute? Love, love, love. And we used every piece of the paper. That's all we used. We used 1 embossing folder, 1 card base, 1 piece of paper, and some adhesive. Super, super cute. So that's why when we pull out a piece of double-sided paper, let me get some of my green stars out of there. And let me trim this down a little bit. I know it's freehanding. I can hear some of you gasping, but that's okay. Hopefully you all have trimmers. And maybe some of you are like me. Freehand, it's homemade, it's personal. Okay, so I'm gonna take another card base. I think this time I'll vary it up. Maybe this time I'm gonna use this one. I'm gonna put the paper that I wanna see on my outside of my card needs to be facing you, along with the name of the logo for DoCrafts. Okay, I'm gonna bring my machine over. Oh, I am so gonna sneeze. If I do, say God bless you. I'm gonna put it in. I'm gonna send it on through. I'm just gonna do a single rotate. Bring it back. I'm gonna hold on to this piece. I'm gonna pop all my little doohickeys out of this. Look at how cute that one is with all the little openings. Then I'm going to take my card base and I'm gonna put that in my embossing folder. Line it on up to where I want it to be. Line it on up. Keep it open. Bring over my machine. This time, remember, we kind of got to go back and forth and front and back. So I'm going to send it through. Then I'm going to roll it on back. Chances are that might be enough. Oh yeah, that's enough. So I've now put the hole into my card base. I can take my paper, and because my paper was double-sided, it's printed on both sides. There's white in the center. I could leave it just this way. I don't have to touch it if I don't want to, but if I wanted to give it a little sand, just to have that white embossing come up a little bit more, you can. It's entirely up to you. I'm not gonna do the whole thing, but you absolutely could. Then you're going, oh, my paper's way big. Trim my paper down. My paper's way big. Okay, so that's what you get for freehanding. You're gonna line it up. Oh, really big. Okay, well, we're gonna go with it. I'm gonna tape it on down. I don't think we've ever shown you to cut into a card base to give yourself a window. Now you could leave it just like this. You certainly don't have to cover the front of it. You could be making a beautiful soft wedding card and leave it just like this and decorate. It's entirely up to you. I'm going to line it up. And tape it down. And the way I'm lining it up is that you can see the little cuts in the white paper. I wonder if I have it upside down. Oh, yep. Perfect. You can see the little cuts. I'm just going to line this right up so I don't see those cuts anymore. So the paper, my top paper, falls right on top of them, and those little cuts just disappear. And now remember, we had this piece left, but I'm going to use the plaid just to give a little difference to it. And again, I can take a little piece of my foam. Foam. I know it's here somewhere. Oh, let's just cut. Oh, there it is. Found it. Take another little piece of my foam. Cut to the size you need, because you can. I would never throw these little pieces away. You'll use those little pieces someplace else. This time I'm going to put it on the flowery side. Center it. Close my card. It's important not to try to do this way. Just close your card and line it up. And now you've got it in the center, ready to go. Perfect, every time. Super cute, right? And then you can put happy birthday across the front, however you want to decorate it. But you've put a window into a card with an embossing folder, and that's pretty awesome. What else is pretty awesome is, let's say you need stars, and that's all you need is stars. You just need a whole bunch of stars. Let's grab how about the light blue? I'm gonna grab a piece of light blue. Big enough? Big enough. I'm also gonna grab a piece of foam, and I'm going to cut the foam pretty darn close to the size of my paper. So I've got a full piece of foam and a piece of paper, and I'm going to marry those together. So now I've got my sandable paper right on top of my 2 mil foam. Use the 2 mil. In the package that you get from us, you get 4 sheets. 2 sheets are 2 mil and 2 sheets are 3 mil. The 3 mil is much thicker and will have a harder time getting through the embossing folder because it really is more of an embossing folder than it is a die cut. But let's just say you need stars. Line my star up. Am I really going to cut it out of foam? Yes, I really am going to cut it out of the thick foam. I am. Put it down. I haven't changed my platform. I haven't changed my sandwich. I'm still on tab 1. I'm still using 2 cutting plates, a do not cut plate and a cut plate. I'm gonna send it on through. I'm gonna rotate it. I'm gonna send it on back. And now what do I have? I've got myself a big ol' foam star ready to put down anywhere I want. So you don't even need to use the whole embossing folder. What if you just need a whole bunch of little stars? You just have to put the paper I don't know what to do with this now. You just have to put the paper, oh, we'll just add it to that one. You can take little pieces of paper and put them just where the stars are, if that's all you need. If you're doing a shaker card, or you need stars as a heavens, or whatever reason you need the stars, you can take little individual pieces of paper. Little individual pieces of paper. And line them up. And all you're going to cut is tiny little stars. So you don't even have to use it as an embossing folder. I could just cut a whole bunch of little stars. Well, and then don't forget, you've got this piece, which is pretty cool too, because when you peel this off, then you've got an open window. So everything is usable. Nothing is, you don't throw anything away. But let's just cut these cute little stars super quick. So when you look at these folders, you have to look at them as more than just an embossing folder. It's an embossing folder. Did I lose one of my pieces of paper already? I did, but that's okay. It is an embossing folder, but it's also an embossing folder that will have cutout elements to it. Or you can just use the cutout elements if that's what you need. If you just need the little pieces that fall out. It's a die too. You've got both. So you should utilize it as both. An embossing folder would never let you ever cut a window into a card base, ever. A cut and emboss folder absolutely will. An embossing folder would never let you cut out super cute little pieces to use for a completely different project. Cut my little stars. And maybe you don't need to use the embossing folder, but don't forget you have the elements that are built into that embossing folder. That's what makes it so versatile, is that it gives you so much to do. It's really just absolutely awesome. I love cut and emboss folders. I can't wait until I have simply defined cut and emboss folders. I'm working on it, but it really is, it's just magic. It is, it's just magic. It's make what you want. You're not limited as to what you get because you can make the decision. Do you want to use a double-sided piece of paper so that you can then take the stars or the hearts or the bling or the little pieces that fall out so you can put them back in? What do you want to do? And because the folders are so versatile in their styling, you really can make this a girl or a guy card. It just depends upon the colors you choose to use. Do you want to use sandable paper? Do you just want to cut into a card base? That's a card all by itself. If you just cut into a card base and have it emboss white on white, or use the solid cork cardstock and make a card base. That can be a card all by itself. You don't have to do one more thing to it to make it beautiful. Cut and emboss folders are pretty rock star. They're pretty limited on the market. There's not a tremendous amount of styles. We do carry all of the styles, but these are the new ones, and I think they're just yummy. Now, I showed you earlier it has a little bit of glitter on it. And what I used is the Nuvo glitter accents. And this is, I think it's Fresh Snowfall. I think is what they call it. This is glitter without being glitter. And what I like so much about it is that it dries like that. I mean, it's not like a Stickles where you're gonna have to wait some time, or a Viva Decor. It dries instantaneously. You put it down, move it around with your finger, get it where you want it to be. It doesn't have any iridescence to it, so it's not so bling in your face. And you can definitely decide how much of it you want on your paper. But normally, you would be waiting quite some time for this to dry. And I can tell you, it's almost dry. On my finger, it is dry. Yeah. Can you hear that? It's dry. That's how fast it dries. And it adds a sheen and it adds a sparkle without it being overwhelming. But for all I know at this point, Tonic Studios, they've come out with the Fresh Snowfall. They've got a gold and they've got a silver. I wanted more colors, and I'm not sure they're going to make more colors. This is where the blue finger comes in. Now, I don't mind getting inky. I know that we have some SMS girls that would no more get this inky. They will wear gloves before they get this inky. But look, it completely dry. Is that Rockstar? We would never use Stickles in a make and take in the store. We couldn't, because it would take too long to dry, and then your arm would go through it and it would smear everywhere, and you would have to leave your card overnight for it to dry. But now with the Nuvo product, it just goes on super easy, dries super fast. But because I don't know if they're gonna come out with any more colors, I wanted to play. So I took a little bit, do I want to use it? I'll take the red. I took a little bit of a re-inker. I don't care whose re-inker you've got. Tim's, Memento, Stampin' Up. I just put a little drop. There's a drop of re-inker right there. Then I'm going to take a little bit of this. And now, if you don't want to get inky, I get it. You can get a popsicle stick or the back of a paintbrush, and you can blend it to make your color. So I'm using a Memento color, and I can already maybe hear some of your questions. Well, Stacey, why didn't you just ink it, take the Memento stamp pad, ink your color, and then put your glitter right over the top? Well, I could have absolutely taken any ink pad and inked my white paper and then put my Fresh Snowfall over the top. But what you can't do when you do that is decide how deep you want the color. The ink pad's going to be the same color all the way through, but a re-inker, and using your own medium, you can add or take away to make lighter or darker. Let's go a little darker. 1, 2. Ooh, well, let's even go 3. 3 drops. And a little bit of and mix. Now I'm even darker. That's really hard to do with an ink pad. But you can do it with a re-inker, and it doesn't matter whose re-inker you have. Don't go out and buy anything special. Use what you've got. If you've got Stampin' Up! Re-inkers, by all means use them. If you've got Memento, use them. If you've got Lawn Fawn, use them. And now this will dry all pretty glittery, but I've got 2 completely different colors because I added more ink, more color. And That's what's cool about this product, is that it will take anybody's reinkers, and it's left up to you what you want to do with it. Do you want it light? Do you want it soft? Do you want it sweet? Do you need pastel? Do you just want it plain? I think that looks pretty good. I like that a lot. I wonder if I have, let's grab just a piece of paper. And let's take a little bit of green. And one green. And a little bit. And again, if you don't want to get your fingers, you can use here, and then you can actually use the back of the, you can use the paintbrush to get it on. A really soft green. And then let's do 3 drops. Ooh, 3 drops. And put it together. And now we're darker. What do you need it to be? Now you're not just left with white and silver and gold. You can make your own colors. What do you need it to be? Just add a reinker to it. And it's dry. And it's got this pretty glittery, shiny but not in your face shiny, sparkly but not bam sparkly. Perfect for Guy because it's not overwhelming. Just enough for girls. Lovely. And this is what we used. We just put it right on the white. This is what we used for our cards here, if you can see it. All right, so we went over a lot today. We talked about the new embossing folders, the cut and emboss from DoCrafts. We talked about all the different kinds of papers there are, and about using the right kind of paper for what it is you want it to be. It's up to you. You have lots and lots of options out there. You get to decide. It's your craft. And if the paper isn't giving you the right result, chances are you're not using the right paper. From color core to black magic to white core to solid core. And chances are you already own all of this in your stash. Then we talked about cutting a window into our card and taking our cut and embossing folders and elevating them, making them more than what we thought they could be. And also taking the, oh, I don't know what I do. Oh, see, I should have never put it on something. Now I don't remember what I put it on. Taking the center, taking the bits and pieces and just using, if you just want to use the stars, or if you just want the big pieces, and cutting it with foam. The little ones are hard to cut with foam. It's the bigger ones that are easy to cut out of foam. The little ones will do great out of paper, but you're gonna have a little bit of a struggle using the foam on the smaller ones. Oh, well there's part of the foam. Can't remember where I put the other half of it. So, but the foam will emboss and it will cut out the center piece. Okay, and then making our pretty colors with our Nuvo. Just lovely. And why you want to use a reinker. If you want to vary the color, you need to use a reinker. That's going to give you the opportunity to add or take away color, to make it intense or make it pastel. It's hard to do that if you just take an ink pad and color it and then glitter. It's hard to get that ink pad to this light color. It's difficult. You can try, but it's difficult. So now I have samples to show you. Oh, and I have the product. Okay, so we've got, let me show you the 5 different folders. So we've got the rectangle, and you know what I think I'm gonna do? I'm gonna find the ones that go with it. That's what I'm gonna do. So this cut and emboss folder here is right there. So it cuts out the big center, gives you beautiful detailed edges. Right there. And I've got my hands on it. Yvette's gonna kill me. And then this is the same. So you've got the two, and this one's really sanded so you can see the definition. So those were done from this one. Then we have the oval, the small oval that I was using. And let's see, this one was done using that folder. And you can see we popped the center and we put little blings in all of the openings. Backed it with a pretty piece of cardstock, matching cardstock, and put bling in all of the little openings. How cute is that? And then this one is also done out of the same embossing folder. Honestly, yes. Same embossing folder, two completely different looks. Both darling. So that is out of this one. Then we have the star that we've been playing with. And we have got this one. Now this was backed with my reflections, my glitter reflections. There's the star. And that's the one we've been playing with today. And mind you, we didn't sand it all. We just backed it with the reflections so that the glitter came through. And that's a self-adhesive glitter paper that I have. Next we have the hot air balloon. And for that, isn't that so cute? I love this. Love, love, love the hot air balloon. Super darling. And then our other hot air balloon. Aren't they just so cute? And then last but not least, oh, did I lose? Where did I put it? We have the flower. Oh, right here. Last but not least, we have the flower. And the sample was made from the flower. And again, sanded after we embossed it. And this sample. Yes. So all of these products are currently on a YouTube Yummy. Please keep in mind that, ooh, a little too high, a little too close. Please keep in mind that the only place you're going to find these cut and emboss folders right now are at Scrapbooking Made Simple, and it's going to be that way for a few months. We have them on a YouTube Yummy. We have an I Want It All and individual. They're all on sale. We also have the Coordinations paper, which is the sandable paper, and the Nuvo Snowflake or Snowfall White on a YouTube Yummy. The YouTube Yummies are good for about a week. They come down on the Friday before the next YouTube, so next Friday, about before 6 p.m. our time, sunny California, they will come down. So if you want to get your order in, you would need to do it before then if you want them at the sale price. And you'll find them at scrapbookingmadesimple.com. That's where you'll find all of this great product. All right, I hope you learned something today. I hope you see, even if you don't get these cut and emboss, but you already own them, I hope you see that you can do more with them than just send a single piece of paper through and be done. There's more to these than you could ever possibly imagine. Just imagine it and try. All right, it's me, Stacey, Scrapbooking Made Simple. I will see you next week. Bye, everybody. It's been fun. It was really fun.